In double overtime, Brad Marchand, because of course, Brad Marchand gets this series tied up 1-1. This has been an unbelievable series so far, and we've only played 2 games. We'll break it down right now here on Stanley Cup After Dark on Teal Town, USA. Good evening, everyone. It is June 6th, or in some places, June 7th, 2025, and the Florida Panthers even up the Stanley Cup final with a 5-4 double overtime victory over the Edmonton Oilers. Welcome to Teal Town After Dark. We do this for every Sharks game, but we're having some fun doing it after every Stanley Cup final game. If you want to be part of the show, you know the drill. Chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over the world on the YouTube page or the app. We encourage you to follow us on the social medias. You can find everything at tealtownusa.com, or if you want to support the pod, by all means, hit us up live in a super chat or Venmo us at tealtownusa. With that, I have Felix, I have Ian, I have another crazy, crazy game in the Stanley Cup final. They are not disappointing us, guys.
Yeah, there's someone's got TV in the background.
Oh, that might be Felix. Do you have something going on?
That might be because my door's already closed. So
Okay. I don't know, I have something going on. All right. Anyway, yeah, it was good.
This was something else. Felix, I mean, you were in here for a little bit. You know, we were waiting for this game to end, but from the get-go, once again, these two teams have been showing their compete level.
yeah, I mean these are two of the best teams right now. Like I mean, Panthers. We know they're the model, right? Like this is how they play, and the Oilers. They have obviously Jesus. They have Draisaitl, and they're showing that they have significantly improved. So I think I think this is going to be a hell of a series, to be honest.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, I think I like this has been really good. I think after the conference finals, we were owed some good hockey because I think the conference finals really sucked.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad that we're like the Stanley Cup's living up to the expectations that you would have for a Stanley Cup final series. And like I think it's like I agree with what Felix said. Like the Cats definitely have their game, but I think that the Oilers have done a really good job of kind of bottling them up, right? Because I think what the Cats do really well is they capitalize off of transition. If they can get you in transition, they're going to turn that puck around really really quick, and then they're going to get their odd man rushes. And for the most part, I think the Oilers have done a good job with dealing. Now, obviously, there's been some times where because of how quick the Cats can turn things around, they're going to come in and they're going to get their chances. But I mean, other than the transition at the neutral zone where the Cats are really good at turning the pucks over, like I find like when they have to come in just into the zone, like they just can't get nothing going unless it's those situations. So I don't know how like it's hard to prevent a team like the Cats from capitalizing on any of those turnovers, and I think the Oilers have done a pretty good job of that. Um, but if they like, I thought the Oilers frustrated the Cats a lot tonight, and and then it's a high scoring, it's a 5-4 final. Like you can't get into a track meet with the Edmonton Oilers. So, I mean, credit to the Cats who won the game, but I've been really impressed with Edmonton so far in this final.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, like, no, I agree. Like, Edmonton's really shown, like, they can play with this team. Play with this Florida team. But also, I think, like, um, you know, I there have been at some points there have been some overcommitments, from the D where I'm just like, okay, you cannot like, and I know we're gonna go over goals, but there's some of them where I'm just like, okay, you cannot leave the trailer like wide open like that.
Mhm.
That's just you can't.
No, and to give some of the chances, I'm like, really, you're oof. And you mentioned that there was like was in the first overtime. I think Marchand had a or not Marchand, excuse me. Reinhardt had a golden opportunity because they left too much room out there.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's like you're playing with fire, and sure enough. But let's kind of review what transpired here. 2 minutes in, Sam Bennett with the power play goal, his league leading 13th goal of the playoffs, and Florida wins the final. I think it's almost certain that it's Sam Bennett's Conn Smythe Blues.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be up there, right, with all the goals that he's scored and everything. This makes me so sad, man, because like when I was looking at like potential free agent people, like Sam Bennett was like on top of my list, and now like someone's gonna pay this guy just a stupid amount of money, and like as much as I like Sam Bennett, like someone's gonna offer this guy like $10 million for a year, right? And
Yeah.
like and it's fun, like, and in the playoffs, like so far he's been money, but like this guy, I don't, has Sam Bennett even scored 40 goals in a regular season? Then someone's gonna pay him $10 million. Like I want no part of that. I think there's I think he's an ideal guy because again I think the Sharks need some snarl in their game, but like I don't know, man. Like someone, like I said, someone's gonna pay this guy just such a stupid amount of money that it's just like I don't want that anymore.
Not only has he not scored 40 goals in a regular season, he's not scored more than 30 goals. His career high in 21-22 was 28. He did hit
Yeah,
a
like
career
that's
high.
crazy. And someone's gonna pay this dude like $10 million.
And he had a career high of 51 points this past season with the minus 15. But that's beside the point
But
because,
that's it. Like, but who else had like point wise, right? Like, I mean, it's just crazy, right? But again, it's you're not paying for the regular season. You're paying for playoffs, right? And
yeah.
that's the problem.
And you're paying him to apparently crash the crease and be a major pain in the ass.
Yeah, let's kind of talk about that because he did run over Stuart Skinner early on in this game, got a penalty for it.
Deserved.
Deserved for sure. I mean, it's like, okay, if Skinner was seriously hurt, I'm gonna be like, ooh, I'm surprised that's more than just a minor, or if it more. I'm sorry, I'm surprised it's not a major, is what I should say. But just the rough and tumbleness that these two teams have been putting on so far. I'm glad to see that it hasn't been too over the top. And the refs have, policed it when possible. There hasn't been a whole lot of, oh my god, how did you let that go?
Yeah, sorry, I'll go first. Like on the broadcast, I forget if it was like the first or second period, but it was like at some point early on, Brian Boucher was like saying, you know, telling Brad Marchand to essentially keep a lid on it, like don't start shit anymore, like because that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. And I like how racist fan Rocks 4 is saying, I wonder how bad Ekbland's injury. It's almost like we're like interested in more than just the series. Oh man. Yeah, and Netfront Prince is saying Bennett's just not in the timeline anyways. I don't
I
know.
disagree.
I don't know. I think we're on the verge of the ascension. I think that's part of the reason why they would go after some guy like
Sam
that.
Bennett's 28 years old. Like it's like again, like you can't. It's not going to be a situation where it's going to just be like William Eklund is not going to be the grizzled vet on this team when it's good. Like there's going to have to be other guys brought in to substitute and to supplement what they have in the pipeline. Like William Eklund's not going to be the grizzled vet on this team when they're good. Like you're going to have to bring in guys that are going to play, help out with the depth position, so you're not rushing guys into situations they don't want to be in, right? Or not, maybe that. Okay, I don't want to say that they don't want to be in, but maybe that they shouldn't be in, right? Because obviously
Right.
guys want to come in and guys want to play and they want to play as far up lineups, but you still need guys like in the lineup, right? Like I know you guys are talking about Ekblad, right? And I don't know if I'm sold on Ekblad as a substitution, but you want to have that guy in there, so you're not just being like, okay, Sam Dickinson, 19-year-old, you are number one defenseman now. Have fun. Like you know what I mean? Like you need some guys to kind of shelter some of the guys that are going to be coming in those roles, man.
Yeah. You need something. You also need to defend. Let's be honest here, more than anything, on there. So it's interesting to see how that happens. But yeah, there's it's such a horrible market for free agents this year.
It is, yeah.
It's gonna be tough to see something with value. So
I think it's gonna be, and the problem is like everyone's talking about cap space, but everyone has it. Like
Right.
everyone else has cap space too. It's not like the Sharks are the only team with cap space, and like everyone's like, oh, you know, they're gonna have more money to do this and this. No, man, they're gonna have more money to do the stupidest shit that you could ever imagine, because this is what they always do every time the cap goes up. Like I said, Sam Bennett's gonna get $10 million, and completely reset the market for that level of player, and the other GMs are just gonna like stupidly follow suit, and it's gonna be hilarious. You're gonna see some hilariously bad contracts this summer, I think.
Oh yeah. Go, Felix.
No, I completely agree. Like I mean, what else can I add? I think, and also Mitch Marner is going to be out there as well. Like
Mitch Marner's the big fish, right? Like someone's going to pay Mitch Marner.
Top, right?
You think Sam Bennett's getting paid? You should see what Mitch Marner's
getting paid. Mitch Marner's going to get fucking like he's going to get ridiculous AAV.
Mitch Marner is going to say, "Hold my Mountain Dew. I'm about to go nutso." On there. All right, so let's get back at it. Former Shark Evander Kane ties it up 1-1 about 5 minutes after Bennett scored, and then a couple minutes later, Evan Bouchard with his 7th of the season. Obviously, there's been some great play by Bouchard. Of course, there's always the downside of his play as well. But nonetheless,
he's like, but the thing is, like, people talk about like the downside of his play, but like I think like, again, like he's another guy who's just, I mean, he's still youngish. Like he's not young, but he's youngish. Like he's still, I don't think we've seen a fully operational Death Star Evan Bouchard yet. And that's why having Ekholm back is so important too. Cause I think he definitely gives him more room to do the things that make him successful. Right. I think if you look at any of the defensemen that are really good like that, and, you know, guys that you could think could win a Norris down the road, like they always usually have the luxury of that guy who's paired with them, right? Cale Makar has Taze like beside him, right? And
right.
You know, Evan Bouchard has Matthias Ekholm, and he's way better when Matthias Ekholm is in the lineup. But I don't know. I think his defensive deficiencies, I think, are overblown.
And you have a good solid defense in Edmonton. I mean, the four alone of Ekholm and Bouchard, and then you bring in Jake Wallman, and Klingberg hasn't looked too bad in this series. Otherwise, it would have been former Shark Ty Emberson jumping in on this. So,
yes, 23, 24, right? Exactly. Like he's young. He's not super young. Like he's not 18 or whatever. Yeah, like he's still got room to grow, and I think he's gonna be a guy who's gonna contend for Norris's when he's like at his peak. This percent of this team, like this team is dumb.
Yeah,
both these teams are dumb.
It's just crazy. I mean, you talk.
I don't know how they did it though, because the tax rate in Alberta is way higher than. I don't know how they accomplished this.
Oh, it's all the oil reserves. They're getting free gas, and that's what it is, right?
No,
I was told that tax doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Look at what. Tell me another sport where this is a conversation. Is it a conversation in Major League Baseball? Are the Texas Rangers the best team in Major League Baseball? No,
not that I've heard. No.
Ask about the Miami Marlins.
Football. I don't watch football, but I look at the teams that win, and Kansas City's in Missouri?
Yep.
Right. It's not in Kansas because that's silly. Why would Kansas City be in
Well,
Kansas?
not yet, maybe. But.
Not yet, baby. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I don't know. We don't have this conversation in any other sport. Now people are going to immediately respond to that and say, oh, well, the cap's different in the NHL. But like tax advantage would still be a tax advantage. It was that big of an advantage. It would be that big of an advantage. We'd have this conversation in all the major sports, and we're only having it in hockey. Why? Because the media, capital M, owns the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yeah. And they don't like it when the Toronto Maple Leafs do bad. Like, I'm sorry, but like we joke up here, like, you know, it's like the TSN is the Toronto Sports, but they really are. Like, they own they own a smaller portion now, but Sportsnet owns most of it now. The TSN's like Bell, which is TSN's parent company, they own another quarter. And yeah, so they're gonna cry about rah, 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 rah. And that's why it's such a big talking point, because unfortunately they suck all the oxygen out of the hockey media.
Oh, big time.
That's what happens.
And not the least of which, by the way, Jerry, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you as always. Not the least of which, that conglomerate that Rogers owns as well has the Blue Jays, has the Leafs, the Raptors, Argos, TFC up there.
Yep.
You know. So.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Like, where did they make their money? The Leafs, obviously.
Obviously, yeah, of course.
But like, you know what I mean? And that's why I think it's like, it's such a big, this is such a big talking point. Why? Because yeah, of course they're angry. They want the Leafs to be good, and they can't hire people to build a decent team. So I don't know what to tell you.
But also kudos to them, yeah, having players that or having people that are going to be competent to build teams. You know, you could say the same thing about the Tampa Bay Lightning years ago. I mean, how many times were we seeing pictures of an empty barn in both?
Yeah, and that's so okay. And look, and I do get that respect. Like, I do get at that from Leaf fans where they're like, well, you know, when these teams were awful, we were basically paying the checks, because obviously revenue sharing in the NHL was a thing, and obviously the haves would share with the have-nots, and they definitely kept teams like that afloat. And I could understand that that'd be very frustrating when they get decent ownership and now they start, you know, winning and you're still trying to get out of the second round. I don't know, man. I'm so tired of hearing about this tax conversation though, because again, like, we're not having it in any other sport. And if it was that big of an issue, regardless of the system of monetariness in all the things, like last I checked, like, you know, the teams that have done really well, like in basketball, like,
yeah.
Yep.
Who have been, like, the Lakers were really good for a long time. Last time I checked, a lot of tax in California apparently. Yeah. So, like, I don't know, man. I'm so sick of this conversation. I don't know. I'm the one that started it, so I'm the dick.
And with that, we move on to a Florida guy, Seth Jones, for his fourth. That made it 2-2. Leon Draisaitl, and he was on the receiving pass of Felix, holy crap. McDavid again.
Yeah.
Makes two for the Panthers look silly. Not the least of which were the Selke winner, Barkov.
All I'm going to say to that is Connor McDavid is not human. Like, literally. Like, I mean, you look at that play and you tell me how a guy can cut back against, do a successful cutback against a Selke winner and then proceed to dangle yet another defender and then just slip it past through two sticks right on Draisaitl's stick. Boom.
I think when it's all said and done, Connor McDavid's going to be the greatest player of all time.
I completely agree.
I watched I didn't see like Gretzky at his youngest because I was too young at that point, but I saw most of Gretzky's career, and I still think I think Gretzky gets a lot of revisionist history against him because goaltending was bad, and it was a different game, and the offense was silly, and that Edmonton Oilers team was the ones that won all the cups. Like, that team was so stacked with Hall of Famers, it wasn't even funny. But at the same point, but the things that Connor McDavid can do, it's unbelievable. I think when it's all said and done, he might be the greatest player of all time. And I don't think is that recency bias? It could be, because obviously I have more recent memories of Connor McDavid playing than Wayne Gretzky, but I don't know, man. He's just built different.
Yeah. Unbelievable player. Can't wait till we hear in a year and a half that he's a Toronto Maple Leaf, because that's what's going to happen next. He wins a cup with the Oilers, and then he's like, I'm the savior for the Leafs. Yeah. Okay.
Good on him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's shown he can drag a team kicking and screaming, which isn't the case this year. Like, that's the other thing about this Edmonton Oilers team too, is like, you look at where they're getting a lot of like the big goals too. Like Cory Perry, how many stupid big goals has Cory Perry scored this playoffs? Like, you want to talk about a guy who could win a Conn Smythe? Like, it seems crazy to say, but like, clutch goal. It's all he's done all playoffs. It's just silly.
He finds a way, and that's the biggest thing in the playoffs for sure.
Like, that's probably like, that's maybe Conn Smythe is a little hyperbolic, but like, but he's been just absolute money this playoff.
Right, he's been a very, very important player for Edmonton. Like, I mean, he's obviously he knows where to go. He just shows up at the right times, and yeah, he's just that player.
Yeah. And net for presence, McDavid was the first guy to break 150 point mark since the dead puck era. Dude is a legit legend. Yeah,
he's insane. Like, he's always been insane too. Like, the one thing, man, this is the best thing about living in a junior hockey city, is like, sometimes you get to see like these guys like all the time, and especially like when I was going to games a lot, like the Hounds and Erie were like the two big dogs in the OHL, and just like all those games were awesome. And like, he's always been just dumb. It's not even fair how dumb he's always been.
Yeah. Curtis Pashelka tweeted out earlier, give Marchand 4x8. Someone asked him would he want to come, and Pashelka responded back, maybe for 32 sheets. I will say this, and we all know Strombone one is, Roberto Luongo, former Canucks goaltender during their 2011 Cup run, and currently on the Florida Panthers payroll, saying Marchand is my favorite player.
I believe it.
Because he's freaking... Luongo. If they could get him on either TNT or ESPN down here, would be freaking fantastic. But his favorite player was part of the scoring in the second period. First was Kulikov, and then Marchand had that breakaway to score to make it 4-3 from a 3-2 lead. Freaking craziness on there for the Panthers. But again, Florida finds a way. Dominant period, Felix. I mean, they really reversed it on the Oilers there, and kind of dictated the way the rest of the game would go.
I think this series is gonna be. Well, I don't think, but like, because like the Stanley Cup final to me has always been a chess match. But like, it's like, I think it's, how do I put this? It's very strategic in the way Florida plays, in that they find ways to suffocate you, and then of course they're a little too aggressive, and then we all know how fast Edmonton can play, and they can strike. They have quick ups. They can strike really fast, and then it's like Florida sort of, I wouldn't say lulls you into a false sense of security, but they almost like they force turnovers when you least expect it, and then suddenly one turnover later in your D zone, they have the pressure again, they have momentum, and it just keeps adding and adding and adding, and then sooner or later they're either going to get a greasy one, or it's going to be apparently Brad Marchand on a breakaway. So.
Yeah, crazy enough that things would repeat itself later in the game, of course. But to have that go from 3-2 to 4-3 really quickly, where were they? About 4 minutes between goals, about midway through the second period. I mean, definitely tells you what the Panthers can do and really shut them down. The Edmonton Oilers wise but they wouldn't be shut down, because as the aforementioned Cory Perry would do with 18 seconds left, ties the game. Wallman and McDavid on the assists for this one, and Ian, we were kind of watching it here, and we're like, oh, it's just a matter of time. Somehow, some way, they're going to make it a tie game, and of course, it's
Yeah,
Ethan Cory
I think
Perry.
this is a situation too where I think you start playing to not lose instead of playing to win, and I feel like I think that I think the Cats kind of went into a little bit too much of a shell, and I think and it bit him in the ass. And then like again, Cory Perry, apparently the greatest dude ever. I just want to fight with Fat Fang. I'm not fight with Fat Fang. I think because he's pointing out like Gretzky had 200 assists one year, high 60. I just wonder what like if you put Connor McDavid in the early 80s NHL, what he would do,
Oh,
right?
dear
Like
Lord.
I'm not trying to take anything away from what Wayne did, right? But like we have to remember what goaltending was like in that era. It is nowhere near what it is now, right? And that's all I'm saying. Like you can't like obviously adjusted for error or whatever. Like I'm not trying to take away anything that Gretzky did. I just think that I just wonder what you would get if you put Connor McDavid in the early 80s when goalies were not good.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to take anything away from anything Gretzky accomplished. Obviously, like he's gonna like I don't think his points record will ever be broken. I was surprised that his goal record,
Yeah.
ever I'm surprised that his goal record got broken. To be completely honest, by Ovechkin, I thought that was never going to be touched. So who knows? But yeah, I don't know. Like it's such a it's hard to adjust for era though, especially when you think bad goaltending was in the early 80s and late 80s.
UK over there? Oh, jeez.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I get you.
And Cory Perry's the greatest player of all
Stop.
time, apparently.
Just stop.
I was, you know what? It was even bad today because someone's like, because my buddy on Twitter, he was saying that like, if we're talking about like Hall of Fame, like Pavelski's got to go in first, and I'm like, dude, like Cory Perry is won at every level of hockey, and I'm not trying to like call him out or anything, right? Like
Right.
it's just a conversation, but it's like this guy's won at every level of hockey. Like he's you want to go through the list?
Oh God.
Because like every level, like he was dominant in the O. He won a Memorial Cup, MVP Memorial Cup, MVP of the OHL playoffs, comes to the NHL, wins a Stanley Cup, wins a Hart, wins a Rocket, wins 2 Olympic gold medals, wins a World Cup, wins a World Championship. Like the dude's won. Like this, how like he's in the Hall of Fame. Like he is going to go in first ballot. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm sorry, Sharks fans. I know you can be really fucking mad at me for that because I know none of us like Cory Perry and we're not supposed to, but like let's put respect on this motherfucker's name. He's first ballot.
I mean, I can't argue with that.
No, and considering the accomplishment of what he's done in this decade, starting with the COVID bubble, where he was in there with the Stars, then the following year with Montreal, and then goes to Tampa, and then now with Edmonton. I mean, be in 5 or I mean, you don't win them, but to be in 5 out of 6 Cup Finals and have some sort of contribution is absolute kudos. Go ahead, sir.
I also think, and Ian, you can say whether or not you agree or disagree with me on this, but I also think it's part of that is, and part of the reason he's where he is right now is he's kind of reinvented his game a little, no? Because like he used to be this super starly on the border sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's not going to win a Rocket or a Hart anytime soon now, like at his age. But so I mean, obviously, I think he's definitely adapted his game a little bit to be that depth guy. You're never going to confuse Cory Perry for a first line guy anymore, where like he was at the prime of his career. But yeah, no, I mean, he's right. Like you're right. He's definitely made adjustments to his game, and if you listen to him talk, he'll talk about how hard he has to hit the gym to keep up with these guys. Just to stay in the league, just how hard he has to work just to stay in the league, right? But yeah, I mean, but still like first ballot. It's not even a question.
Yeah, and he gets a tying goal as a clutch player that he is, and and that sends it into overtime. And Felix, I mentioned this to you when we were watching it.
Yeah.
It wasn't as free skating and willing it was a couple nights ago. It just seemed like there was like, okay, we kind of settled things down. There are little spurts,
Yeah.
you know.
It did seem a little tentative, like they were trying to. I don't know if they were just trying to have controlled breakouts and and they were just a little tentative with the puck in the neutral. Sometimes they had dump-ins and then you regroup and then dump-ins and then you work for the puck, etc., etc. It did seem like, I don't know if it was, if choppy is the right word, but it's like you said, not as free flowing. But yeah, I do agree with that.
So you have a what was it? 13-8 in shots in overtime in favor of Edmonton. Edmonton would come on a little bit. Thought Florida started really early, and then second overtime happened, and it was 4-1. I mean, only one shot on goal for Edmonton. Florida played a really good, strong game where Marchand finishes it off on the breakaway after Edmonton gets a sustained chance. Ian, you know, Brad Marchand, I mean, he's one of those other guys that he drives you nuts, but at the same time, you got to respect what he's brought.
No, I mean, like, yeah, I remember when the trade deadline happened and he moves to Florida, and the first thing I said in our group DM was like, the Panthers are going to be just an awful team. Like they're already an awful team to play against, but I just like, they're going to be the worst team that you would have to ever like meet in a playoff series. And so far, I mean, they've continued on being Florida, but man, yeah, like he's just, God, again, another player who like you have to respect, but you don't have to like.
Just does magical things. I mean, and to be out for a little bit and contribute big time for a Florida Panthers team. So I'll ask you, Felix.
Yeah.
4x8 for Marchand to San Jose?
No. Jesus Christ. Again, speaking of GMs doing just the most absolutely batshit insane things, no.
What about 3x8?
No, it's not going to be 8, man. Like he's going to be. This is the thing. Like he is at a point now in his career where he's going to just like he's going to make sure he gets paid a decent amount of money.
Yeah,
but winning is going to be the priority over money at this point in his career. In my opinion, I think he's going to go to the highest bidding contender, but I don't think it's going to be like. But the team's going to have to. He's going to have to think that team is a legit contender.
Yeah.
Or they could offer him all the money, and he's not going to sign there.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like the him getting not agreeing to any, or let me rephrase that, things not working out in Boston somehow, and with contract negotiations and the situation he's in now. I think I would think he prioritizes winning, even though he's already got.
I think like too, right? Like he always took good deals in Boston and watched everyone else get paid. Like I'd be really pissed off if I was Brad Marchand. Now, obviously, because of where he is in his career, like at some point, like you have to probably try and ring the bell before you're 36. But
right.
But I could understand the annoyedness with him, where it's like you're not even going to meet this what I want, because he's always taken good deals, right? And I think that again, like I just think that I'd be angry if I was him.
Yeah. Brad Marchand, the first player in Stanley Cup final history to score a shorthanded goal in regulation and then an overtime game-winning goal. Put that out there. What was the other thing that I saw from Arda or Cal? Florida Panthers are 4-0 in best of 7 postseason series where they start 1-1 on the road. They are the only undefeated NHL franchise in that scenario.
insanity. I mean, it's just this is going to be awesome. Like this has been awesome already. It's going to I can't imagine this falling off at any point. Like I don't really have like a rooting interest here. But man, like this is great because I'm glad because I am glad that during conference finals I had the Memorial Cup to distract me because Jesus Christ, I don't know.
You weren't wrong.
I don't know what I would have done if that was like if the conference finals was it and that's all that there was to watch.
The one thing that was mentioned, I think this was from Jesse from SDPN, that the conference final matchups would have been a first round matchup if we had gone 1 through 8. So I could kind of see how that looks.
No, but
considering how the series played out.
Yeah, but that's dumb though because like when you go into the first round, like everyone's healthy, so you could get decent. Like you know what I mean? Like saying like, oh well, this could have been a first round matchup instead of that, and then you know that would have been bad. But maybe it's not bad. Maybe because like, you know, everyone's healthy, you get a better series out of it. Or maybe because it's early in the series that, you know, the Dallas Stars can score early in the playoffs and they can't score late in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, maybe this changes. Like, you know, like, I don't know, man. It's dumb. Like, I understand everyone's gripes with the playoff system. I do. I get it. I don't know, man. Like, I just think the playoffs are usually great because of their playoffs. And they were just 2 dud series that were just not good because they weren't very competitive. Right. And that happens sometimes, right? We watched the San Jose Sharks get swept in 4 games by the Chicago Blackhawks, and they were never in any of those games.
No.
Like sometimes,
10-day rest
right? Games. Sometimes like sometimes conference finals just don't live up to the hype that you think they should have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but that's reality, right? Like,
of course, though. I just remember Dustin.
I'm bringing this back to the Sharks as often as I can, and I think they deserve like some sort of award for that. Keeping it real, Teal. That's all I'm saying.
Hey! All right. Well, good night, everyone. Apparently, you know, geez, God. Kidding. Hey, we're having fun, you know. So, all right. Well, on that note, we should get out of here. But it's been
Peter
fun.
DeBoer got fired. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, let's talk. Okay,
we should
sorry.
Probably go over some.
Yeah, we'll do that really quick. Yeah, I know. Amanda's probably snoring on the couch right now. First off, congrats, Marco Sturm. You are the Boston Bruins head coach. Well deserved. We'll see how you do as a head coach, and maybe, hopefully, not make us regret.
This is the same guy whose Ontario Reign lost to the San Jose Barracuda that were held together with duct tape and sticks. But yeah, I mean, like good for him, right? Like obviously he's been looking for that opportunity, and Boston is obviously a city that knows him very well. People in that organization know him because after these guys retire, they just move into front offices and make sure they hire all their friends. So, you know, snideness aside, good for Marco Sturm. Yeah. I'm happy. I hope he has success in Boston. Not too much because I still hate the Bruins, but you know, I wish him well.
Felix, I'll ask you this question because I saw it on the responses to the announcement. If they win multiple playoff series, did they win the Joe Thornton trade because of Marco Sturm's head coaching in the playoffs?
Jesus Christ!
Like seriously, I saw that a couple times. Like we won the trade. Like,
I'm like, really? That's my response.
I'm fascinated to see what Boston does in this offseason because they're a team that's going to want to strip it down to the bulk.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think. I mean, you just re-signed Jeremy Swayman for 100 years, so you probably have to do something, right?
Yeah. Right. So, actually, question for you on that: do you think Swayman has a bounce back season?
Yes.
Yeah, I think with him in camp and everything, yeah.
Yeah, he's too good not to.
Yeah.
So, onward to PDB.
Yeah.
I'm
he gone. Have his first. Yeah.
So here's the problem, right? Here's the thing here, and I didn't get to when on the Sunday show. I missed the whole conversation about PDB and Jake Ottinger and everything else, but like this doesn't really surprise me, right? Like Peter DeBoer is obviously his teams have won a lot of hockey. He's been to the conference finals, 3 years in a row now. Unfortunately, they never were able to punch through. But the problem is that like, and this is why coaches are so fucking expendable now, is because you sign players to these long contracts, right? So you just signed Jake Ottinger. Jake Ottinger's got to be in a very early amount of his current, I'm sure, 8-year deal, right? So like, what is the team going to do when the coach picks a fight with your franchise goalie that you've just signed for $1 million? Well, you're going to fire the coach because you can, and you're not going to trade Jake Ottinger. I apparently, like, you know, and again, I am not in Dallas. I am not in Dallas's room. Blah 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 blah. All the usual disclaimers. But I mean, from listening to like Elliot Friedman and stuff like that, like there's obviously a lot of the players were also very unhappy with how Jake Ottinger got treated. So I'm sure that probably came up a ton in exit interviews. So I'm not really, it's crazy because again, I think like Peter DeBoer teams have won a lot of hockey, obviously. I do think that Peter DeBoer teams do have a bad habit of running out of offense as they get deeper into the playoffs. It happened in Vegas. It's happened in Dallas. It happened here. But again, if you pick a fight with your goalie of, your franchise goalie, I don't know, what do you expect to happen at that point, right?
Right.
Yeah. And for me personally, the move to pull Otter was, especially at that point, I know he allowed like 2 goals on 2 shots, but like I was like,
neither of those goals were his fault for one.
yeah, I'm like, really? You're gonna pull him that early? Okay, I guess. Like I don't know.
I felt so bad because like not only is he getting pulled, like you call a timeout and then he's like going back because he thinks he's going back in, and then you pull him, and then he has to sit beside Ray Ferraro and listen to Ray Ferraro.
I know, I was like,
poor guy in that game.
I know, I'm like, oh god, like
I don't know how you like under, obviously Ray Ferraro's got to do a job or anything.
Right.
Man, I am probably like, move me before I deck this guy.
Can I just go sit?
I run hot though. I run really hot.
Yeah.
I full marks to Jake Otten for just sitting there and just like burning holes in something across the rink, because
seriously,
I don't know what dude. I'd have been losing it.
Yeah.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see. I think, I forget who I was listening to. I think it was SDPN. They're saying, Steve Spott's name hasn't been removed from the website, but Pete DeBoer's has. I'm like, oh gosh, does Steve Spott get a chance?
No.
I don't know.
Spott's got to ruin another power play for another team wherever Peter DeBoer, because someone's going to hire Peter DeBoer.
Oh,
like,
he's
there's no way he's going to be he's going to be hired almost immediately, I'd have to imagine. I don't know what coaching vacancies left open off the top of my head, but like somebody's gonna go
so
there, right?
Apparently this is the interesting part. Like I've been seeing on social media that apparently PDB was fired like right after all the coaching vacancies have been filled. So I don't know.
Yeah, someone will fire a coach.
Yeah, fair point. Maybe mid-season. Who knows?
Yeah.
He's not, look at with a guy like Peter DeBoer out there, all you need is for a team to just stumble out of the gate a little bit, and their coach is gone. And like a team that's supposed to be good stumbles out of it, like loses 9 games to start the season. Guess what? Peter DeBoer is their new head coach.
Yeah,
that's a fair point. Yeah,
he's now the new Rick Tocchet, where he's the hot, trendy coach available. So we'll see, especially if you're a team that's
okay. Yeah, no, I like, I haven't been super paying attention to the coaching vacancies, so that's on me.
No,
but yeah, like I have to imagine, like I said, someone stumbles out of the gate to start the season that should be winning, and and their coaches doesn't have tenure, like, or a long time left on his contract, or or it's just a team that wants to do something crazy, that Peter DeBoer is going to get hired. I don't think it's going to take long at all.
And with all the coaching vacancies, congratulations, David Quinn. You were once fired as the head coach of the New York Rangers. You're now back as the assistant coach. Very rare. very rare
I
that I've
can't
seen
see
that.
Peter DeBoer being in it. Like even an associate, I can't see Peter DeBoer being unless you're
Oh.
unless you're putting him in a situation where it's like, well, this coach has a short lifespan. It's like it's the associate coach that's like the heir apparent in all but name. Maybe it's a situation like that. I could see that too.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right, and real
that'd be
quick,
interesting.
and real quick
I
before
can't
you,
imagine a
sorry,
team not scooping him up though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get you.
Yep, and real quick before you gotta go, I know Eric, you gotta go, but Dan Muse, congrats as well as the
Yep.
newest head coach for Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Apparently has Chicago Steel ties, which Kyle Dubas loves,
Yeah.
besides the Sioux. So
Yep, and Derek Lalonde to
CSHL
Toronto.
apparently has a thing of either the Sioux Greyhounds and the Chicago Steel.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
go figure.
Yeah. All right.
In case you missed anything or want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or wherever you get your podcasts. These are video only shows because they are, league wide. So, but all the other stuff will be on the podcast wise. If you're on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. It does help us out immensely. I mean, how many likes do we have, gang? Come on. We can do better than that.
Are we doing a Sunday thing or no?
We can. I'm just not going to be available for it, unfortunately.
I just want to make sure, like, if we should be promoting or not, but maybe we shouldn't be promoting if
Yeah, I have work on Sunday, so.
And don't forget, we will be back with you Monday for Game 3.
Yeah, and we're gonna do some draft stuff. I already have Mark and Jules their go. It's just an issue of just finalizing their stuff and then picking a date. So stay tuned for that. We'll have some draft stuff coming soon.
Excellent. Can't wait. We're exactly 3 weeks away from the NHL draft, so it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially since
I do something at some point, right?
Yeah.
Especially since the Islanders had dinner with James Higgins. Can we just have chaos at number one? I'll see. Until then, Felix, final thoughts before we get out of here.
Final thoughts. This Stanley Cup final has been really, really, really fun so far, and I look forward to more fireworks, more really good hockey, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. And yeah, you can find me at Felix Talks Puck on the Twitter, and also I promise I'm still doing a music catalog at some point. I gotta juggle between music and retail now. So yeah, eventually I'll have that Patreon full of a music catalog. But yeah,
Ian?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Ian Vlogs Hockey. I don't tweet a ton. Sometimes I jump into. I really don't though. But I do, like, if you tweet at me and it's something interesting, I'm usually I'm good for a response. And sometimes I'll see like someone who I'm comfortable with message, like, getting into their conversation, and I know they won't be mad at me for doing it, because sometimes Twitter's dumb, man. Like, Twitter's the dumbest shit. So you can find me there. Other than that, like I said, we do have some draft stuff coming. It's just an issue of just finalizing the when.
Right.
Like Mark and Jules are already in. They've already committed to it, so it's just an issue of a when. And as soon as I know something, I'll probably tweet it out, or we'll put it out on the socials and everything else. And yeah, man, it's gonna be fun.
I'm PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and Instagram. We will be back with you for sure on Monday following Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Panthers and Oilers. They have the week. We have the weekend off, and they have the weekend off to rest and get ready for another game, for an epic series already. So until then, thanks for watching, and until next time, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real, Teal. Have a great weekend, everyone.